So we palpate and we assess these points. And they're not for therapy. We're not massaging. We're not moving in circular motions. We are palpating anterior to posterior, or sometimes posterior to anterior, or superior to inferior. These are all anatomical terms that you'll learn in this program. And based on the tenderness in any of those points that we palpate, we can tell where the body's priorities are. Now, we can assess a food journal, we can assess a confidential health questionnaire, a nutritional assessment questionnaire, and those are subjective because those are based on the client's input about what they perceive as their own symptoms and health issues. But when we start getting to the functional piece, then we're asking innate. We're going into the body and saying, where do you want to work? And then we compare the two, the subjective and the objective, and we are able to come up with a bio-individualized program for that client. We take that one step further. Let's say, for example, I'm checking your liver status on your body. I've already done an interview with you. I've reviewed your food journal, and now I'm assessing your liver function. And I'm going to do the functional evaluation and palpate those reflexive points on your body that relate to liver function. So I palpate those, and you tell me on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being just pressure, 10 being ouch, that hurts, and even values in between, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You say to me, that's about an 8. Ow, that really is tender. Well, what I can do is I can take food or a supplement, and I can place it on your tongue, and I can have you hold it there for 30 seconds, something that I think will help your liver function. And then when I repalpate and revisit that liver point, I'm able to ask you, okay, now what does it feel like? And you say to me, gosh, there's absolutely no tenderness, or that's reduced significantly. That tells me that the lingual neuroassessment, meaning your taste buds, talk to your brain, go out to your organs and glands, and ask, would this be helpful? Just like a wild animal goes out and nibbles on a plant, and nibbles on a different one. And finally, when they find that one that they love, they eat the whole thing, the whole bush or the whole tree or the whole plant. So I can ask your body by using your lingual neuroassessment, which is in medical journals. It's recognized because it is a physiological function. That's why we like some foods at some points in our lives and we don't like foods at some point in our lives. Or also why we crave something. If we're craving a particular food, the body is saying, give me that because I need what's in that. So by using this lingual neuroassessment, I can repalpate that liver point. If it reduces significantly or disappears altogether, then I know to include that food or supplement in your protocol. And that's what the Nutritional Therapy Association, their philosophy or their paradigm is based upon.
That sounds so amazing. I'm so happy that's out there. And then what is the Certified Healing Food Specialist training? And I'm just curious to see how they fit together. Is this your baby, the Certified Healing Food Specialist training?
Definitely. Yes, this is Immunitrition's baby. We started this 5 years ago because I'm sort of a workshop junkie and a school junkie. I love being the perpetual student. As Eartha Kitt stated, the tombstone will be my diploma. That's me for sure. So I've gone to many different workshops. And one thing that I saw, and my partner Jennifer Payco in Immunitrition as well, my business partner, she said, we both looked at each other and we said, there's a piece missing for food education here, using food as medicine. We've got all these different energy healing modalities like kinesiology and contact reflex analysis and nutritional response testing, and even the NTA program does a great deal of teaching you about nutrition and what your macronutrients should be for any given day, or at least a jump-off point for that. But with actual food prep and understanding what hygiene products do in the home and cleaning products do in the home, how to get that all cleared out and over to a better way of life and living and connecting with food, we felt that was missing. So we created the Certified Healing Food Specialist Training, which for short we refer to as the Chef's Training, CHFS. But we always say chefs. We don't actually spell each letter out. The Chef's Training teaches you how to use food as medicine. We talk about preparation techniques, the different properties of food, and how to transition someone from the SAD diet, the standard American diet, all the way over to a nutrient-dense whole foods diet based on the pace that the client would want to work with you at. instead of forcing them. A lot of the time we don't speak about organic right up front. They're not ready to do that or spend that kind of money. But once they see little changes and we make eliminations and substitutions for those eliminations, then they see this little bit of progress and they feel a little better. Maybe they sleep a little better. Maybe they feel more energetic, or maybe their eczema goes away just by doing something like an elimination diet. We teach all of these things around food. There's no clinical aspect or functional evaluation. So basically what we did was we created a program that dovetails beautifully with either the GAPS training or the NTA trainings, because now we're in the kitchen. We're not in a classroom, we're in the kitchen. So it just takes the food piece to the next level for an NTP or a CGP, Certified GAPS Practitioner, and it takes, it also brings in the aspect of getting your body clean, not only with food, but with what you use in your home to clean your home and what you put on your body. Lots of different food suggestions, lots of different product recommendations in the program, and it's just a lot of fun because you actually get your hands in the food as well. It's not a, quote, cooking class. It is more based on food prep. We have demos. We do have some hands-on labs for especially the culturing or fermenting part of our program, which really is the emphasis of the food part of the chef's training, because cultured foods or fermented foods have been abandoned in our society, our modern society. So we want to get that element back in, just like body ecology and GAPS as well.
Yes, and great. You've led me right where I wanted to go as well. And I know that you do have quite a bit of experience over the last 15 years working with cultured products, cultured vegetables. What are some things you can share that you've discovered over all this time that might be of help to someone who's thinking about starting out?
I'm so happy you asked this question because recently, just a couple weeks ago, we had an interview with Dr. Mercola and Dr. McBride on Mercola.com, and we had this huge rush of sales for cultured vegetables. And, of course, which is like a gourmet sauerkraut, by the way. It's just got some extra ingredients and takes sauerkraut to the next level, in other words. Well, I think the one thing I can do right up front is to say that cultured foods taste sour. It's the absence of sweet. When we take whatever kind of medium, a liquid medium or a vegetable medium, whatever base you're going to use, and you inoculate it with beneficial bacteria, those beneficial bacteria go to work on the sugars and the fibers and the fatty acids. They're all called prebiotics. Prebiotics are food for the beneficial bacteria called probiotics. So when we inoculate or bring in those good bacteria and they go to work on the food, they are producing something called lactic acid. They're eating the sugars and producing lactic acid. Lactic acid has a sour flavor. So one thing you can expect with any cultured food is that it will not be sweet. It will be sour, and that's a flavor that we're missing in our modern diet. And I'm not talking about Sour Patch Kids or sour gummy balls or whatever you have. I'm talking real sour flavor, naturally made. So one thing I can say is if you do purchase cultured foods, know that they are living, especially cultured vegetables. And let's say, for example, if you purchase some cultured vegetables from Immunitrition, what to expect is that your jar may have a puffy top when it arrives because those beings, those organisms in there are living and breathing and dividing and multiplying. Exponentially they're multiplying. One bacteria becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 8, becomes 16, becomes 32, and so on and so forth. So when they're shipping to you, they get culturing a little more. So you may see a tiny little bit of liquid leak from the jar. That's very common. You may see a big puffy top, and maybe even the jar top bends a little bit. That is a good thing. This means that you have a probiotic-rich food. Some people think that they're going to get a foodborne illness or some kind of botulism when they see that.
Yes.
That is not the case. And what happens is, like I said, the vegetables, the organisms are breathing, and they're like you and me. We give off carbon dioxide. So there's pressure that's created in the jar. And sometimes that happens.